Peter?
Okay, so we're going to call the meeting together at
7:02.
okay,
We're good.
at 7:02 on September the 22nd, 2014. First item on the agenda is the call to order by the president, which I just did. Public participation.
Mr. Denome, 85 Vandale, Putnam, Connecticut. Mr. Chairman, I have been searching for the documentation of the authorization of the $1,262,000 recommendation from the Board of Finance to the Board of Selectmen, and I have not.
When?
That's exactly what I'm wondering. When,
When?
please?
For what?
What?
What
For what?
recommendation?
For what?
For what, when it went into the vote for the public on May 14th. Was there any discussion, a vote, or anything?
I don't, is it out in the budget?
I have no idea. I have no, personally, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not questioning the numbers, I just don't know anything about it.
I think it's the same question you asked the Board of Selectmen.
True.
And I think it was the capital
Loan from the return.
5-year capital plan.
Recurring,
Yeah, so
I don't know.
that's voted on at the town meeting.
Well, on item 8, there was a specific line that said.
Item 8 where?
Item 8, well, I don't have the agenda with me right now, but that was what was voted upon by the town of people, by the people in the town of Putnam on May 14th. You have no idea what that is. Did you ever make a recommendation for that loan, as according to the paper?
I don't know what the minutes said.
Oh, you know what the minutes said.
You know, I mean, one of the things, it's one thing to come in here,
Mm-hmm.
which is what you're doing,
Yes, sir.
and to basically say the board on such and such a date did this, did that, didn't do this, didn't do that. Obviously, you either read it, or you had the minutes, or you had something, because you just didn't pull that out of your ear on the way over. And you come in and you basically said, what happened 5 months ago or 6 months ago, what have you, and how come everybody doesn't have an answer for that?
Correct.
And the answer is, if you're going to do that, it certainly would do everybody a favor if in fact someone knew what was on the beginning of the statement and what's at the end of it as per the minutes. I don't know what the vote was about, and I don't know. I probably couldn't tell you, something that happened last month. So I don't, maybe somebody on the board has an answer, but at my age, I don't have a clairvoyant type of memory that I should remember something that happened in May that may have been a pro forma recommendation by the board. I don't remember making it, but okay. I don't even know if I was at that meeting.
Well, thank you for your response. I appreciate it. So essentially, you have no knowledge or recollection of when the possible recommendation from the Board of Finance went to the Board of Selectmen that was voted upon by the public on May 14th at the middle school.
Not till I read it.
Not till you read it. So you don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
No, we don't.
Very good. Thank you. All right. That's your answer. No problem.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you don't know what it is. So you don't know? You don't know, you don't know.
Well, but it's made by you to deliberately make members of this board sound like they must be lacking in something because,
Yes, I believe you are lacking in something because on the town agenda that was voted upon on May 14 on line 8, it specifically said per.
What was on line 7?
Why didn't you bring it with you so you
You
could
know
see
what,
what
I
you were
ran
talking
out of the
about?
house, but I'll get it to you. I'll bring it back the next meeting if you need to.
Well, it's unfair doing it that way. It's like me asking you,
Well,
what were you doing on January 3rd at 3 o'clock?
Mr. Nash, I am totally willing to table this item until I get the specific piece of paper which will identify exactly what I'm talking about.
Well,
I
I
have
don't
no
think-
problem with that. I have no problem with
I
that,
think this is
sir.
public participation, this
Well,
is tabling items.
Well,
This
you know,
motion's gonna be made to do that.
Sir, excuse me, I'm a resident in this town, this is part of town business, this deals specifically with the Board of Finance, and I'm asking you a specific question about that movement, about that motion, or that recommendation, that's all.
I have no
If you
idea
say
what
you
it
have
is.
no recollection, well, that's fine, that is the answer that you were giving me, and I have no objection to that.
Does anybody know what he's talking about?
I have to see it.
Yeah,
The only thing that I'm aware of is the 5-year capital plan, which we put in the budget, and we recommend to the voters, you know, here's the plan, do you accept it, yea or nay? And
Right.
it was accepted.
They-
So I don't understand.
You don't understand, well, you know what, I will bring a copy to the next
well, all
Board
you
of
have to do
Selectmen.
is the lady on the keyboard, right
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, all that stuff from meetings and what have you is on file somewhere.
No problem, Chairman Nash, I will continue my investigation and I will be back to you with the appropriate paper. And then it may refresh your memory, and then again it may not. I have no problem with that whatsoever, sir. None whatsoever.
Okay, the approval of minutes of August the 25th, the vote is required.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Just with that change.
Was that correct?
Yeah, the correction that
Correction.
was mentioned.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh, one of the things we forgot to do is to put
Yep.
Miss Marion,
I make a motion to make Gloria Marion, permanent, or voting member this year.
is there a second?
Yes, I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Gloria. The unfinished business, the water pipe relining and restoration. Well, we get the finance director's report, I'm sorry.
Okay, there's no financials available at this point in time for the end of June because all the books aren't closed out yet.
Why?
They never are closed out at this point in time.
Geez, I was reading about other towns having theirs all closed out.
Yeah, well,
They
that's
with their
Putnam
balance.
for you, you know? Historically, they never get closed out until October.
How about in Putnam in the past, has it been closed out?
October, November even,
Oh, yeah?
yeah,
Good, I'll
Yeah.
check on that. Go ahead.
okay. That's all for now.
All right. Corresponding, any quarterly financial reports from the Board of Ed? I don't see any,
Is it a reporting month?
No.
but there's nothing at
They
all.
had- They had split, where Sandra was going to bring the close of the year. That's why we're going to have a report here, the close of the general government. And Bill had 1 or 2 outstanding invoices that needed to be paid before they could do their
Okay.
official close. So that's why there was,
The same with regards to the general government?
Yep.
Unfinished business, Mr. Garso.
The only thing about the water pipe lining and restoration project update that I can give you is that we may be starting a little later than we anticipated because of the bids coming in a little on the late side, as I understand it, if I recall correctly from my last meeting. But it's moving forward, not at the pace that we would have liked.
Any time frame at all?
You know, I
The snow's gonna be here.
I don't remember what the time frame was. I wish I did. I thought Doug would be here. I know he got on top of all that.
Just a planning meeting?
No,
Downstairs.
Downstairs?
Yeah.
downstairs.
All the way down,
Sorry.
right about in this same area,
Okay,
okay?
thanks.
Where is Doug?
Woodstock.
Woodstock what?
That's where he lives.
Is there some reason why he is not here?
I have no idea. He told me he wasn't coming.
And that was okay? got more.
Keep going, I'll help you out.
Okay. I mean, yeah. What can I do? Can't do what I can't do. Technology park update.
Technology Park update, Scott will help you out on this. We did go to Brooklyn, and there's some question about the contract.
Is that paying bills too?
Pardon?
Paying your bills on time?
We pay our bills on time.
I guess that was brought up by
That was brought up by a citizen in Brooklyn. They had a selectmen's meeting, which myself, Owen, and Doug Cutler attended. And we reviewed the language of the contract, the proposed contract for them to join the Quinebaug Regional Technology Park. They had some concerns over the language that holds them harmless, because they're really just buying an investment. They're not buying real property, if you will. And Doug had Mr. St. write up some new language. We presented it to them. The motion passed 2 to 1 to send it to a townwide vote, which will be on October 9th. Before that, on October 7th, we'll be in Pomfret, 6:30 at the community school, and there's going to be a public hearing / town meeting where they will vote yea or nay to join us in the technology park.
What time, 7:30?
6:30.
Oh, 6.
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
How many shares?
Yeah, well, we have to own 51% when all's said and
But
done.
how many shares are there total?
So if we have to own 51, there's 49% left. So we have 4 10% shares and 1 9% share. Scotland has already spoken for 1 10% share. Brooklyn is interested in 2, and Pomfret is interested in 1, which if my math is right, it would be 40%. So if potentially, we know Scotland's in the 10, if Brooklyn approves 2 and Pomfret approves 1, that would be a 40%, it would be a 60-40 split. Of course, all we need is that 1 share from Scotland, and we have the 75%.
But we have Scotland,
We have Scotland.
so we were getting the 75%
We
share.
can sleep well at night,
Regardless
we
of
know that
what
75%
any of
is
these
coming
votes are
from the
doing.
state.
If they don't want to, I mean, it's more money in our pocket.
Right,
than
and
mine.
I've said that publicly, I'd like to own 90%. Some other members, including the mayor, like to make it a more, merrier party, if you will, and have more people join us.
Local towns.
More local
Trying to
towns.
help Mom.
But I think it's a win-win for everybody, and especially a town like Pomfret, like Brooklyn, you can quote me on this, that doesn't have the location. In other words, not every town has a location to build a technology park or an industrial park. So for a town that doesn't have a location, come join Putnam, right along the 395 corridor. It's a win-win for everybody.
How's our bridge coming?
Mr. Falzarano.
All right, the bridge.
Yeah.
All the bids, I didn't realize how big the bridge packet was. I sent out, 5 things about this thick, plus with maps. So those are out there now. Carla says we'll start receiving them, and by the first week of October, we're ready to open at the first Board of Selectmen meeting.
What date's that?
October 6th.
That's October 6th.
That's October 6th.
Yep. The day before we go to Pomfret.
I was cracking chestnuts October 6th, 2041. It's just, in case you want to use it as a reference.
2041.
Yeah. So everything is going very well. I'm really happy. As you all know, the governor's coming tomorrow, and we're going to pick him up at 11 o'clock at the farmer's market. There'll be 3 easels there. One will have the tech park, one will have the YMCA, and the other easel will have the complex across from Winnie, the Cargo and Falls Mills, so you can take a little look at them. They're in the hole about $2.85 million, so maybe you'll see that, and after he takes a little tour of the place, he may loosen up some purse strings in the election year.
Who's in the hole for that?
Right?
Who's in the hole for
They're not
that?
in the hole, the Cargo Fall Mills, is about 2.85
They're a little short.
fish, yeah.
A little short.
But, there's some good signs coming. They were cited as a national historical spot, which it's nice to have that. It doesn't give you any money. So we're kind of excited that he's coming here. I guess Mr. Warner invited him on behalf of the bank in town, so it should be interesting.
Mr. Foley coming?
I already know. If he wins, we'll invite him next year. That's it. Simple as that.
That's cute, I like that.
Anything else, Mr. Mayor?
I want to speak on the section D, because I'm the one that formulated that many years ago.
Yep.
Which is coming up. Before you voted on anything else, that was set up because what was happening, I was athletic director at the time, Putnam High School, 1980 to 87, and when we had the Kinley football game in Putnam that year, you know, it was a nice crowd, $8, $9, $10, $12,000 we brought in. And I would always fight with the school, what are you doing with that money? I mean, the kids bring it in, they're the entertainers, give it back to the kids. And, you know, we went round and round, they put it in their general coffers. So finally, I got a couple of people to side with me, and we formulated this athletic gate receipt account. And the way it works is the coach, any coach, has a specific need of a capital project. Like if the football team needs new goalposts. Okay, you can't put that in the football budget because that would kill their budget. So if the athletic director agrees with the principal and the principal agrees with the superintendent brings it to the Board of Education and they agree, it goes to the Board of Finance, which basically rubber stamps it because you know that money is going back to the kids. And it's been an ongoing thing. I was amazed that they still have $89,000 in that account, which means they haven't spent a lot of money.
Good.
And I went to the Putnam High School Clipper band thing Saturday night, where I saw board member Deary and said I'd pick you up to bring into the meeting Monday. And he said he was coming, but obviously not here. And the sound system is archaic. It doesn't complement the niceness of the field and the fans. So it's a worthwhile investment. And again, I firmly believe that if the kids are the ones who raise the money, then the money should go back to the kids. Bottom line, not the general fund. And so that's where I stand on that. Just to give you a little historical background on that. And it was brought to a town meeting, and the town meeting, it was voted yes.
Yeah.
And once it goes to a town meeting and they vote, then it's basically our law.
Someone mentioned to me with regards, which I agree with, what you just said, is, because I remember that in those days, Paul Fanuc was around, and, you know,
Right.
yeah, and what happened. And, anyway. Someone said that they've already purchased some of this stuff.
I think Bob made the motion to go out to bid on certain things. And they want to have the sound system for the Thanksgiving game, and I thought that's what Hull said, that if they could do that before it goes out, it would be beneficial to the citizens of Putnam as well as the Kinley people.
Yeah, I don't think you were here, Joe, when you were talking about that.
Yeah, because, no, we have, it was
Yes,
last month, we have it on here. But I don't, now, tell me what that meant. The Putnam Board of Finance made a motion to authorize the Board of Education to go out to bid on the items they wish to purchase
Yep.
with funds. So does that mean we just authorize them to go to bid, or we
Yes.
authorize them to go out
I
and
think
get
you're not
bids?
just to bid.
Oh.
Bill asked if they could purchase the sound system.
Right.
They have some knowledge of what that costs. It's not that gigantic. So that would be in for Thanksgiving. That's the only thing in a kind of an emergency they need.
I don't know how much of it wasn't that much money,
I think
3,000,
it was
5,000.
$7,000 or $8,000.
Yeah, I was close.
3,400.
Well, I was closer then.
Just the sound system, right?
No, that's only
That's
the
it. That's only the headsets?
helmet,
Helmet
Headsets.
stuff.
whatever.
That's it, then, for the coaches.
It's not anything to do with the
So-
The sound system.
I mean,
Just the headsets.
Yeah.
I mean, with regards to D again, the Board of Ed, I mean, are they going to send us something as to what this is going to cost? Or is this just a blanket approval to buy whatever it is, as long as it's a cheerleading mat and a baseball fence?
I assume that it was over a month ago, they'd have some bids in.
Yes.
And someone would have been here
Yes.
to show you what it costs. Obviously, there's no one here.
Was there something going on in Putnam tonight?
Yeah, they're building a new school.
There's nobody, you know,
Well, look, it says here, request to purchase portable baseball fence, he mentioned that.
Yeah.
Cheerleading mats, he mentioned that too. And the helmet audios, that's for the coaches.
yeah.
And that's all they're asking for
You
here.
know, also a sound system that would be, that's the PA, like a PA system.
Yeah.
It doesn't say
But
that,
he's
though.
got helmet audio on it, that's what I mean, you know?
I mean, you know,
I know if I was superintendent, and those are the things I wanted, I'd have been here with bids and copies for
there
everything.
you go, there you go, there you go.
All right, now he's
So-
gonna, because he's gonna support the superintendent.
No,
Oh, no, he's that type of fellow.
I'm just recollecting back to the last meeting a month ago,
Yeah.
when Hull was here,
Yes.
and I remember there was a question about the trainer, because
Yes.
So who?
is a trainer a capital thing?
I remember
And
that.
he took
Right.
that out, but I thought he asked for authorization to buy and go out to bid.
I think
don't
the
know.
question is
That's what I,
bid,
Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's what
did.
to go
Yeah.
out
No,
to
but-
bid, not buy. Bid
No.
and buying, just
I
begin,
thought it
they
was a
begin
done
with B,
deal,
that's
that's why
all.
I'm
Yeah, I
surprised
thought-
it came back up.
I thought it was a done deal, I don't know if.
And that's why
yeah.
I'm
I
thinking
mean-
he probably
I mean,
thinks it's a done deal.
How much is in that account, 89,000 or something
Yeah,
along those lines? I mean, I don't know, does the bid come out to 87, 980? I mean, I have no idea what it is.
I'm getting that.
Yeah.
You know, but it's nice knowing what you're buying.
Right, but I remember.
But he had it all here.
He came back and said, you know, we really would like to get this purchased so we can get it in.
Okay.
And then you guys made a
Yeah, you're
thing.
absolutely right.
But he took off that trainer thing.
He
Yeah.
says here, I also have a request to spend up to $19,000 out of the
Yeah.
gate receipt account, which has balance of $89,000. Chairman Nash, what are the rules? Superintendent, the athletic director makes a request to the principal, who makes a request to me, and then I make a request to the Board of Ed, then it comes to the Board of Finance to approve the appropriation. What was the fund for? And then that was your question, and he explains that. Chairman Nash, I have to look at what the gate receipts account was set for to make sure we are in accordance, and I think
Yeah, we
we
got,
have
it's
that
all in
here.
here.
Yeah, we would like to have the sound system done now. We had looked into this, and I was waiting for a proposal to come my way, and we would have to go out for bid. I made a motion to authorize the Board of Education to go out to bid on items they wish to purchase with funds from the gate receipt account. No, I don't specify an amount.
I mean, I mean, personally, I mean, I don't speak for myself in this, not as anything else. I mean, I don't, you know, I mean, the money's sitting there, and if the sound system, I've never heard the sound system down there, but if it's that,
It's not good.
okay, but if it's that bad, I mean, I don't have a problem. But they got us, you know, I mean, you know, it's not like they're not in the building business. With 34 million,
36.
36 million, yeah, they can come up with
And I don't
a bid.
I don't think they have to go to the Board of Selectmen with the bids.
No,
So
set it
then
up.
the school board can open that.
Yeah.
Did he say he opened school bids today?
I have no idea what,
Under the school renovation project suite is on.
I have no idea, I mean, this is an account that I remember 4 or 5 years ago, something came up on this account, but I haven't seen anything about this in years and years and years. And other than the information in here from Attorney St. Ange and other things with regards to years ago, you know, it probably hasn't changed. But I certainly would like to know what something is for the sake of buying it. I mean, if it's 17,000, is that the number that?
19.
19 or whatever it is, send me 2 or 3 bids from 2 or 3 people, how much it costs to do it. You know, it's kind of like that parking lot that we have some interest in. You know, it's 50,000, okay.
Is the game here this year?
Yeah.
Okay, so our next meeting is sometime at the end of October.
Yeah.
4th Monday, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we can wait till then,
Sure.
or we can make at least a motion to go ahead and get the baseball fence, the cheerleading mats, and the helmet audio.
Well, we still don't have a bid on,
Well, I don't think we need to see that.
why
I
not?
think what we do is we authorize them not to spend
Well, we
in
have,
excess of $19,000 and let them be the
Also.
one. Huh?
Also,
Also, that would be my motion.
so we get 1 bid back for 19, that's it.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, you don't
That
know.
is- That's for 30
Not
years.
saying
No,
that
it's not
the
really,
sky's
yeah.
gonna fall.
Well, no, but why do it that way?
Why not do it that way?
Well,
I mean, I'm not gonna nickel and dime the Board of Finance, the Board of Education. I don't want,
36 million, you want to,
not for
fool
$19,000.
around with them. I mean, it's
Not
such
for
a-
19,000 out of how much?
89.
89. 19,000 out of 89, okay? If they screw this up, they'll never see the rest of the 70. So, I mean, you know.
well, we're not going
I'm
to be
sitting
around,
here.
we're not going to be around that
I know
long.
that, but, you know, the thing is that we have to have confidence in them being able to handle, to go out there and get those bids.
And if they
And
don't,
and basically, I already thought that we did that.
I already thought we did that, too. I thought my motion was to go ahead and approve that, up to 19,000. But I didn't
But
say
that- but
that.
that
Right,
wasn't it.
yeah, right.
Huh?
So what you, it actually went in as bids, right, versus approving the amount?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just, I mean, we'll take whatever, we need to do, but I think on buying anything, I don't care what it is, and if we've got to approve the money, I'd like to see a couple of bids from a couple of people, other than just saying 19,000.
So I thought he had a breakdown of it for us.
I didn't see it.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
remember the 3,400 for the headsets. I don't remember the cheerleading mats. I do remember the fence
Yeah.
and the sound system. But, yeah,
I don't know why Mr. Hull, just like Mr. Cutler, is not here this evening with three guys to a Board of Finance meeting. It's either so minimal, it doesn't make any difference. Mr. Cutler can't be bothered this evening, whatever it may be, certainly can't make a phone call to the mayor, same thing for other people. I just don't understand that. On the other hand, when people want something, they certainly don't mind showing up with a cadre of individuals claiming what have you, and as someone's saying here, that the sky is falling. Move on. I don't see anybody wants to make when a vote is required. Want to make a motion? Go make a motion.
All right, I'll make a motion that we authorize the Board of Ed to spend up to $19,000 for a portable baseball fence, cheerleading mats, helmet audio, and the audio system for the Green Hall field.
And I second.
I have a question. Sandra, did we get a bill for this stuff? Any of it?
Any of the sound system and all that stuff?
That
Yeah.
goes through the
No.
Board of
The
Finance.
helmet stuff?
That goes through the Board of Ed.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm just asking.
No.
Caroline
I
has
know
to
that, I'm
issue-
just asking.
Caroline had to issue the PO to Nancy for the headset.
So somebody must have given her something.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. We asked, I feel like a fool here tonight. But,
Let's
somebody's supposed to say this to that, and nobody knows who it is, and it isn't that big a building. Not that many people.
I'm gonna look it up in my system and see if I can find the PO that if she's issued it.
Yeah, she did, she told me that she had.
Well, if they issued the PO, are we buying it twice?
No, I don't.
Now, see, my office and those that work under me are responsible for a lot of the Board of Ed stuff. I mean, I know they have this big budget, but we do all their cash receipts and we pay lots of their bills. So,
Hey, you pay a lot of their bills?
yes, we do.
Okay.
Like all the school projects and all that kind of stuff, we pay lots of their bills.
Even on the new project?
And even we pay WPCA bills too. I mean, the workload just keeps,
Oh, who's we?
myself, Eileen, and Caroline.
Well, what does Sheena pay
Small stuff.
on the PCA bills?
Actually, I can tell you this. Since July 1, Caroline has cut 696 checks, and we have issued 359 purchase orders. The WPCA has cut 273 checks, which is less than half of what the town, and has issued 129 purchase orders, which is 200 less than the town. And that's since July 1 to right now.
Is that a good number or a bad number?
Well, you have to keep in mind too that Caroline also does all the insurances.
That's all I'm asking. Is it a good
Well,
number or
the
a bad number? I don't know.
It just shows how much more activity is going on with the town compared to,
Well,
and
Compared to what?
yeah.
Compared to last year? I used to
now
sit there.
compared to what's going, and actually, if you want to talk about comparison of years, I have the budget in front of me from 1997. We had total, the school and the town, an $11 million budget. Now it's $22 million.
That's 1997.
We used to also have just a mayor. Now we have a mayor and a town administrator. Why? Because the town keeps
That's
growing.
1997.
And we've taken, look at how many projects we've
Well,
taken on in just a couple of
You
years.
know, I mean, all this started out to be was, did you get a bill for $8,000?
I personally did not get a bill.
All right, there's a motion on the floor.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Gloria?
Second.
Sign it. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Me.
Okay.
So, they're not, so Bill, your motion passes. So, they don't have to send any bid in for anything. We just pay the bill no matter what it is. Is that what you mean?
Up to 19.
Up to 19,000.
Up to 19,000.
Yeah, there's no,
And if there's a purchase order floating around in Never Never Land,
The last purchase order entered in the system was last Friday, the 19th. Nothing's been entered since then.
How much?
On the 19th, it was issued for $263.85
To who?
to Page Company Incorporated. It was PO number 359.
Didn't say what it's for.
It says it's for repairs to the restroom.
I have no
Which
idea.
restroom? I don't know.
Just not on our list.
Well, I'm glad it's fixed.
The
I
library-
believe it has something to do with the library.
I have no idea.
It
Don't
does
even
have
wanna go
something
there.
to do with the library.
Oh.
The last three purchase orders were issued were for the library. And one, that was on 9/19, prior to that 9/02, and then prior to that 8/29.
I appreciate all that. Okay, moving on here, folks. New business. Consideration of hiring a new person for finance. Someone like to speak to that?
We've got a letter here, don't we?
we do.
Yes, we do. I got a big mouth, but sometimes,
All right.
Where is the front? What does it
there's
say?
a letter, what does the letter say? Oh, that one, yeah, okay. That's the Federal Single Audit Clearinghouse Corrective Action Plan?
No.
No?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
And if you move down into the letter itself,
August 19th, okay, in accordance with the Putnam, well, I'm not going to read all that.
That's a different one.
He's looking for a transfer request that was approved on September 15th by the Board of Selectmen to transfer $20,000 on a not-to-exceed basis to perform a needs assessment. You know what, I'll make that as a form of a motion, it'd be easier, I don't have to repeat myself.
okay.
Make a motion that we authorize the transfer request, which was approved by the Board of Selectmen on September 15th, 2014, to transfer $20,000 on a not-to-exceed basis to perform a needs assessment of the Finance Department to identify any gaps or problems necessary to close out the books on fiscal year 2013-2014, and to ensure a smooth transition to operations under the current fiscal year 2014-2015 budget. I'm going to read the rest of it. This will include a determination if additional resources, including personnel and/or training, are needed to meet the town's accounting and financial reporting requirements. Needs assessment will also address the findings stated in the fiscal year 2012-2013 audit. Town administrator and finance director will work with current audit firm Mahoney, Sable and Company to identify needs. You got that?
I'm just going to get it right from where you got it.
Yeah, okay. I got it off that August 19th letter.
Okay,
And to add to that, the item transfer is from fiscal year 14-15 fringe benefits, hospitalization 1424-5511 to fiscal year 14-15 Board of Finance budget. One,
that's on the paper.
same page,
Same page.
Which one?
August 19th.
It's got a block in the middle of it. The letter.
Why don't you give that to these blocks of the
Oh, hang on.
So you're good. right there, that block in the middle of the
Oh,
thing.
yes, I have to.
Got it? Okay, and then just add that, the stuff in the block. Line item transfer from fiscal year 14-15 fringe benefits, hospitalization 1424-511 to fiscal year 14-15 Board of Finance budget 1411-5608 professional services, $20,000.
Okay,
So put it all in one motion, yes, please.
Okay. Discussion.
So you need a second first.
Yep. There's,
Was somebody second?
No,
no?
you need a second.
There's a second on that motion.
I have to have a second for discussion.
Yeah, but I don't have a second right now. I thought I had one.
Yeah, but you have, I understand that if you second it, then you can't talk against or you can't
Correct.
No.
vote.
Correct.
What?
Correct.
You what?
Okay, I'll second it.
But if you get a second, you can't talk against it?
Like if I second it, then I couldn't say I don't agree with it.
No, that's not
For discussion purposes.
No, this is, the second is only to allow us.
Oh, you guys, yeah, I've done that before, where I've seconded something and then voted against it.
Yeah.
You have it for discussion purposes, the second of the motion. So, I'll second the motion. So, moving it along. Does anybody want to comment on?
I understand, he just read that whole thing to me, but, does it come down to that the audit firm would come in?
No, I don't think
Or-
so.
or
I'm
who
finding
would
out
come
that
in?
the audit firm's going to help Doug find someone to do it. right?
Oh.
Okay, yeah, that's what's going to
It's
happen.
supposed to be a totally impartial and independent
Right.
person.
See, when I read it the first time, all I could think of was, I don't really want the auditing firm to do this. I understand that it's not going to be the auditing firm. The auditing firm will probably get a proposal or come up with some names of other auditors, or people that do that sort of thing, and make that recommendation.
Well, my thought on it is, well, we're definitely having some problems here. And where they are, I don't know, but we're going round and around now for about 4 months. And I'm not sure, I don't know. I don't know, does the mayor feel that we need somebody to come in to do this?
If
Mayor,
you
what
will,
do you
Mr.
feel?
Chairman, if you might, if you will.
Yes.
I talked to Doug Color, we have the list of several names of people, that's all they do, is go to towns and inspect their books. They're not the auditing firm for that town. And they're looking for what's happening, how's bills paid, payable, accountable, PO systems, all that stuff. And they're gonna find where we're weak, where we're strong, where an employee is very good in this area, but not so good in this area, and give us a report to that effect. Since the Board of Selectmen voted against having a new person for $60,000, we thought this would be the best method for this year and in future years, so we have a plan, and we definitely need some kind of a plan to give us direction. We feel this person, I talked to former treasurer Paul Lajeunesse, and Paul said, I don't want to get involved with that, but I'll give you the name of this company, and they do that. She gave it to Doug, Doug researched it, they came up with 6 or 7 different names, men and or women that do this for a living. And they come in, and they're very impartial, because they care about money. They're going to come from the other part of the state. They just look at the way things are being done and give us a blueprint of what this is the way you should do it. You use AccuFund, then do it this way. So that's the reason for that, Kath.
Okay. Now, before I ask you, and there's not something behind this that we're having a witch hunt.
No, God, no. But we've had for 4 months, as you said.
Well, yes, we
We have
have,
problems. And whether it's
do we have employees that aren't?
AccuFund, you have some employees that aren't familiar with it, you have other employees who are very good at one thing, but not good at another, and they're all kind of different tasks. This independent person with no affiliation to anybody here in the town will give us some direction. That's the only thing.
Okay, finance director, what do you?
We know what the problem is. No one here is held accountable for anything. No one has to answer it. I go to Tony, I showed him a bank statement from our short-term investment fund, and it had a $139,000 deposit into it. I show him on this AccuFund system. I go, Tony, do you see $139,000 in this account? He says, no. I go to the person that entered this. They gave me this big explanation. Well, if you're going to put money in the short-term investment fund on the books, you really have to deposit the money. You have a person who is adding to a cash account because we received interest revenue. The cash account balance goes down. They realize this. Obviously, they debited and credited and mixed up their it's simple interest revenue, and cash balance goes up when you get interest. They saw it. They did nothing to fix it. It's simple things of, okay, we invoice somebody. When you receive cash, apply the cash to the invoice. You can't apply the cash and book it as revenue again, because now revenue is overstated, cash is fine, and your accounts receivable are overstated because it looks like these people still owe us money. I can go on and on. I've showed Tony many examples. Look, I've gone to Doug. The short-term investment fund was so hosed up. And it looked like...
I don't know what hosed up means.
It was messed up. It was inaccurate, wrong. Things weren't booked. They just weren't even booked. I go through, bit by bit, balance the account, all the cash comes out. The short-term investment fund consists of about 10 individual cash accounts, one of which is a special services district. The person making an entry on the books, and this is what it says. It goes, SSD withdrawal, $500,000. And they booked for $500,000 to come out of the special services district and into the town. What it really was a deposit. So I can't know that until I go to Lucille and say, show me your backup. I mean, it's just blatant, careless errors, over and over again. Explain. Ian from AccuFund has come down, trained people.
What was that about AccuFund? Training people?
Ian is his name, I-A-N.
Yes.
Ian Merkel, Scotland, actually. He came down, he trained a whole bunch of people.
Where?
Here.
When?
Many days. And I also took Shanna up to him for a whole day of training. He's also been at the Special Services District in training. I've trained people. I've given them screenshots. I go over, they're trying to do something. I'm like, take out your notes. Follow your notes. Things like picking the wrong bank that you transferred money to. It's not even a number. It's just choose the right bank that you transferred money to. They don't. It's careless mistakes. I right now have an intern from Nichols College, and I have him about 7 hours a week at this point. And he is more valuable to me than my assistant is. And
Is this
it
a
what
paid
it is.
intern?
Mm-hmm.
What's his salary?
$12 an hour.
Where did that money come
Out of the $10,000 that was appropriated to help me, because I didn't get a senior accountant or any other help like that.
from? Anybody approve that?
Doug?
Doug did?
Yep.
So,
And in fact, he mentioned it at the last meeting,
What did he mention at the last meeting?
that we're starting to use that money that was earmarked to help out the department
I don't remember that.
by use of an intern.
I don't remember
No,
that
the last,
conversation.
I should say the last Board of Selectmen meeting.
Oh, of course. Select.
Board of Select. So the last Board of Selectmen meeting, which was on, what, the 15th?
Last week.
15th, yeah.
Was when he announced that that was the money.
Well, the money was appropriated with the budget.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, there are people that keep throwing up roadblocks for me to be effective or fully effective at my job. For example, we get grant money in, and my assistant throws it in suspense because she doesn't know where to apply it. And there's like $17 million in suspense. So I've sent you emails before, the different board of WPCA, because they have a lot of grants. I sent it to Doug. I even asked Tony because he has signed some grants. Tony said to me, Doug just puts papers in front of me and I sign them. I can't get copies of the grants. People are either unwilling or unable to give me copies of the grants. So when we get the money in, I can apply it to the particular projects. Now I have this intern, and we talked about moving people around. And the thing came up, they have to replace the floor downstairs before they can move people. And they need a long weekend. So Labor Day was here, and that was too quick. Now we're looking at Columbus Day. So I said, is that going to happen? Because even though I have a person, I can't give them a good permanent workstation with a printer that can fully help me out. I'm now hearing, we think we can do it. And at this point, I'm like, they need to move people around whether they replace the floor or not, and just get the workstation set up so we can be fully effective. So these are the issues, and to spend $20,000 to have somebody from the outside come in here is not a good use of taxpayers' money. And I pay taxes in this town, so. Other than that, that's just a little frosting.
You would just rather we just hire somebody $40,000, right?
Or make people accountable if they're not performing and underperforming out in the real world, they wouldn't be allowed to stay here. Simple as that.
I thought we left our meeting last month with the assumption that personnel was going to change.
No.
That.
No.
Mr. Chairman?
And actually, right
Well,
now,
they were going to work on the personnel problem.
and right now,
Yeah.
my assistant has a gazillion million hours of time coming to her, and she has started taking it, and she's going to keep using a lot of it. So, the only thing I can say.
Excuse me, I don't know where we're going with this.
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. We keep going with this. We keep going around
Circle.
every single meeting.
That's
We were
because
going to
no one
do
is
it.
ever held accountable for their
But
lack of
I
stellar performance.
I don't know, I want to, Scott had something to say, but.
Yeah, well, no, I was the one that made that motion to do a needs assessment before we went and just spent 40,000 plus benefits, 60,000, whatever it is, because you heard different stories. You heard this person couldn't do this, you heard I need a new accounting system, and I said, let's have a third party come in that doesn't know anybody, doesn't have any dog in the fight, take a look at it and say, is it a training issue? Do we need to train these people on basic accounting? Do we need to train these people on AccuFund? Do we need another body? Is it a senior accountant do we need? Or do we need 2 line accountants? I don't know. I'm not the expert.
Well,
and that's why we said to
That's
spend
why
up to 20,000, not
We've
the whole
already
20,000.
hired an expert. She's our
Yeah.
finance director.
And-
Somebody needs to give her the authority to be the finance director, and when she says my employee isn't doing what I'm telling them to do, somebody needs to say that employee either is going to do it or they're going to get out. And I don't really understand what
They're too worried
the
about getting
consultant is
sued.
going to do. Are we going to listen when the consultant says there is no leadership in this town hall?
There's none. There's none.
That
Well, my idea was, instead of jumping with both feet in the water to hire somebody, I look in the back of my mind and say, you know what? For 20, 25 years, with the old DOS system, we didn't seem to have a problem.
we did have a problem.
Well,
Things were all on wrong accounts.
And we didn't have all the economic and Putnam redevelopment accounts on the books. And we didn't have all these gazillion million projects.
We didn't have
and funds.
anybody telling us we had a problem.
well,
And I didn't come in here and say, we need new software. When I was hired, I was told that we are getting new software.
Well,
They
wait a
just
minute.
didn't, what?
You were told you were getting, you're the one that
Yes.
came up with the AccuFund.
No. I didn't come up with, we're getting new software.
Oh, yes, you did.
I did not come up with, we're getting new
Tell
software.
me you didn't.
I'm telling you I didn't. I did
You
not.
lied to us a number of times. You told us you wanted us to wait a goddamn year for the post, for the
Purchase
POs.
orders.
You never did that.
What? You know,
Can we back it up a minute here and just calm down for a moment? All right. Let's get back to your intern for $10,000 here. How many, you work 7 hours a week?
right
Is that
now,
what you're saying?
about 7.
7 hours a week? So how's that working?
He's wonderful.
I mean, you know, again,
You know, the thing is,
Again,
I have
I
a
said at the
full-timer.
last.
I have a full-timer that
At
doesn't
the last
perform.
meeting we had last month, is that the finance board is not the personnel board.
We don't have a person.
Well, I mean,
But we're not in.
or any form therein. We don't hire people, we don't terminate people, we come up with dollars and cents, we buy helmets for whatever it is for the school or something along those lines, and, you know, we do that stuff. We don't do that. And somehow or other, getting involved in that, other than, you know, people saying what's bothering them on the whole thing, we don't really have a resolve for it. Whether, you know, whether or not you feel the way you feel, it's other people feel the way they feel, it's fine. I mean, it's not for us to argue with. But we can't, I mean, I can't terminate, or this board, not me, but this board can't terminate whoever I don't even know.
So no one can get.
Well, I mean, but that's not our responsibility.
Whose
It's
responsibility
It's the
is it?
Board of Selectmen's responsibility. I don't know. I asked the question last period with regards to Mr. Cutler as who he supervises or who he doesn't supervise, or what have you. The answer seems to be, I don't know. I'm not quite sure that's a good answer.
It's not.
But it is what it is. I have no idea, sitting here, and I don't think anybody on this board, maybe you do, and I just don't understand, who is the supervisor of the finance department. I don't know. I got to assume it's not me.
She reports to the mayor.
Well, then she needs to deal with what she needs to deal with, either
We've had
through,
lots of discussion.
well, you know, and it is what it is. I mean, maybe it isn't the best system in the world, but it's the only system we got.
Which is why if I have to keep someone who's non-performing, I need somebody that's.
Well,
you know,
but it's not the Board of Finance who's going to say, whoever this lady is, you're out of here. We're not going to do that. I mean, we're not going to do that. Exactly. We don't have the authority to
Right,
do
that's
that.
why no
We don't
one
think
is-
she types
no.
well enough or fast enough. You know, she's
Or-
out of here
right,
tonight.
Or they
I
spend
mean, I'm not going to do
50%
that.
of their day talking.
Well, I can't help the personnel, the Board of Finance cannot help whatever's going on. We're not running the town hall.
Someone needs.
We're not putting floors in.
Then maybe we should go along and do this so that we do have, as long as
Well, you
it's
know, it's like
understood
then,
that we have, in addition, in this mix to these people, that we have a personnel problem.
I
I mean,
mean-
it's not just do we need a computer, anybody knows we need a computer with the amount of money that's running through this town hall. That's not really the issue, we know that, it's not, if people, you know, we need to,
I
You
kind
have-
of get where you're coming from, but I don't agree with red flagging the fact that there might be some personnel issues.
well, I think that you have to put
I-
in, that they have to be looking, in a town this size, with this much money going through and this many accounts, how many personnel people and what training should they have? Do we have those people in, do we have people with that training, meaning, do they at least have some bookkeeping? Have they gone to 2 years of school?
I think the problem is,
Most of them
is
not.
that when you switched over to AccuFund, there was a perception that everybody could easily get on board with it because it was brought about that way. That it would be a fix-all and it was going to be easy, and if you go back through the minutes of a year ago, it specifically said.
Well, you know what,
So
Marion, it
that-
would be easy if the people knew, it would be easy
I
for
paid
me to
attention.
see because
Or-
we're
Or
accountants.
why do you enter a cash receipt 2 times?
It should be easy for the accounts receivable person because she should have an
Or
account.
why do you
Yeah.
enter the same cash receipt more than once?
Who's responsible for that?
No one is.
Who's responsible?
The person.
I guess
You're
The town
the
administrator-
director.
I have no authority.
You're responsible for the end
I have
result.
no authority.
The buck stops right there.
That's right, so that's why I do almost everything, and that's why I need
Let
help.
me make a point. At the last meeting, I made a comment that maybe some people in town need to be retrained, I guess it was. I forget, I was quoted on the radio
Yeah.
anyway. And I did that on purpose. because I got no feedback from the people in the town hall. After I made that comment, boy, I got pushback, okay? Then I found out a lot of things. You stand up there and you talk about this person does this person does that. You show up here at 8:22, damn it, on Thursday when everybody else is in here at 8 o'clock. And you know, all you do is you nitpick everybody that works in this town hall. All
You're
right?
entitled to your own opinion.
Okay? Well, that's right.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm looking at emails dating all the way back to October of last year. That's when you really started working here. Because you started throwing people under the bus.
Yeah, right. Mhm.
So I'm in favor of this, okay?
Oh, like, people enter cash receipts twice, that's my fault. People can't post interest properly, oh, that's my fault. People have, they say they're doing a withdrawal and it's really deposit, oh, that's my fault.
You're in charge.
I have offered you and everybody else on both boards, follow me around. Come see what goes on in here. No one has taken me up on it, no one. So that's your fault for not investing time and really investigating to find out what goes on. And you don't know how many hours I work and when I work and if I'm at the bank or wherever I'm at. You get much more than 45 hours out of me every week.
And I would expect so.
Huh.
Of course.
Well, why don't you put in that?
Okay, we can't be
Well, I
arguing
mean,
with her, I mean, that's,
yeah,
I don't want to be here and be
Well,
part of that.
she made that comment once before, last year. Everybody just kind of sat here. She says, oh, I'm working all kinds of hours, and I'm not going to do that anymore.
But I
Nobody said
did.
nothing.
But
I
I
think what I would
did.
have told you.
But I did.
You don't like working the hours? There's the door.
Okay, 8:30 to 4:30. 8:30 to 4:30.
It's that simple. You know, I'm really disappointed
I'm really disappointed
in the way
with
you conducted yourself in the last year. Okay? You've not met my expectations.
You have no idea what I do. You have no idea. Spend a week with me and see how it is from morning to night. And we'll do just 45
Okay,
hours.
We'll get somebody to come in like this and do that.
It
Okay.
has to be an independent and an impartial person.
Okay.
I hope so.
Yes, it does.
Because the very next morning, Doug comes to me and says, oh, I have somebody in mind. After they said at the meeting it had to be independent and impartial. Oh, and it's the finance director that I used to work with. Well, that's not independent and impartial.
No, so it
Finance
won't be
director
that.
where?
I don't know.
That you used to work with?
No, him.
He did.
Oh, him.
So much for impartial,
All I know is, as I sit here at the moment, there is a motion on the floor,
That's right. That's right.
and it's been seconded
And discuss.
and discussed. All those in, who seconded?
I think
Okay.
I don't
There you
remember.
go.
It's been so long ago.
And it's been discussed. Call the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Kathy, did you vote?
Yes,
Yeah.
I started.
Okay.
Okay, it was unanimous. Okay. All right, we got the water pipe, we got the technology, we got the Board of Ed, the helmets, consideration of the other one, line transfer, hospital benefits,
Bob took care of that with
we
the-
took care of that one.
Yep.
All other business, the rate book, collectibles, I don't even know what that is.
That's something that Missy gives you once a year, just for your information, and doesn't require action.
Okay, that's what I thought.
The same as with the collection.
And the same thing for the Misty set of the Town of Putnam collection fiscal year 2013-14. Like that. Anything else anybody would like to say? Mr. Pembeck?
No, you passed the motion, I'll bring some.
Then there is another motion that needs to be made, a motion to adjourn.
So,
Second.
All those in favor?
aye.
Good night.